Joe Hildebrand, you're well connected. What's the sentiment inside Labor at the moment? How worried is the government getting about the Voice failing?
Well, I think the only reason that the PM wasn't talking non-stop about the Voice at the ALP National Conference is that he didn't have Peter Dutton there asking him constantly about the Voice, because that is the person who's talking about the Voice more than anyone. It's Peter Dutton talking about all this stuff about whether the Uluru statement is 1 page or 26 pages, or it's a flying purple people eater or whatever.
Well, it's the PM who's saying it's misinformation, though.
No, but the point being that he is being constantly asked about the Voice by Peter Dutton, and then when he answers it, he's been accused of talking about the Voice too much. And then even when he doesn't talk about the Voice, people's right, oh, hang on a minute, he's not talking about the Voice. Why isn't he talking about the Voice?
Clever political strategy.
The PM has been focused on cost of living stuff. I can tell you that certainly among my circles, I know a lot of people high up in the Labor Party are extremely concerned. You'd be mad if you weren't concerned. But the PM himself, I think, is still pretty bullish. I don't think anyone thinks it's in the bag. You'd have rocks in your head to think it's in the bag.
He thinks he can win the referendum.
I think he thinks he can. Yeah, I think he can. And look, it is possible. There is a huge soft vote out there. The undecideds are enormous. Obviously, you know, everyone who supports the Yes campaign would much rather have, you know, over 50% saying they're going to support it. We don't have that. The hard votes are much lower than that. But the Yes and No votes are about neck and neck. And the undecideds are, if anything, as big as either the Yes or No vote again. And I'm told that, you know, the door knocking is going very well when people are actually engaging with it, which they haven't been, because rightly so, they've got bigger fish to fry. They're more worried about cost of living in their own houses rather than other people's. But when they do actually sit down and talk about it, the feedback is really, really strong. Whether that's wishful thinking, I don't know. But I have hard heads telling me it's all over Red Rover, but I have people within the campaign saying, look, I'm a cynical man, and there's people, ex-Liberal staffers as well as Labor, who are saying this is still there to be won. Yeah, it's going to be incredibly difficult, but it's there to be won.
Yeah, well, the undecided vote could push it one way or another.
Yep.
Now, my colleague Andrew Clennell on Sky News yesterday called out Albanese for not knowing the price of petrol. Have a look.
I once stumped a PM over the price of petrol. Can you tell me what the price of petrol is roughly at the moment?
Oh, the price of, well, I don't go and fill up my car, but it was around about $1.80 last time I did.
Well, it's $2.10, $2.20 now.
Sure.
Now, Andrew Carswell, your old boss, Scott Morrison, did get caught out with a similar question, not knowing the price of petrol. I think the slight difference here is that, you know, the government, or Anthony Albanese himself, did campaign heavily on the cost of living ahead of the last election. And this is the biggest crisis affecting everyone. How can he not know it's over $2?
Well, for reasons you just said, Shari, I'm not going to be throwing stones about this one. I was in the room when Scott was asked about that, and I wanted to crawl under the table. Should a Prime Minister know the price of petrol? Look, I think it's all to do with how they respond to that answer. If they don't know, and they can move on with, you know, with a bit of a sidestep. But the main point is, are they showing enough empathy in answering that question? I don't expect the Prime Minister to know the cost of petrol. I mean, he's not allowed to even drive his car, let alone fill it up. So I don't expect him to know it. But does he have empathy to understand that people are hurting out there? And I think that's the real failure in his answer that he gave Andrew Clennell there. It wasn't the fact that he didn't know the price of petrol, is he didn't provide any answer to bringing the price of petrol down or addressing the real needs that people are going through. That's the issue that I took away.
See, Joe, I don't buy the fact that PMs should have an advisor there saying to them, this is what a litre of milk is, this is a bread, this is the cash rate. I don't think this is a detail issue. I think that in a cost of living crisis, the Prime Minister has to understand what people are going through.
Yeah, I think you've sort of touched on it there. I mean, even if he had have had an answer ready, that would only be because his advisor said, all right, you're going to be asked about the cost of petrol or a loaf of bread or a litre of milk, here's what they are. So it wouldn't, even if he'd answered it correctly, it wouldn't have shown he was any more in touch. It would have just shown that they were wargaming that line of questioning. So again, I think it's good on Andrew Clennell. He's a great journo. got a bit of a scalp there, but again, I'm not sure if people really go for these gotcha moments. I'm obsessive about the cost of petrol, by the way, and I can tell you, in the PM's defence, just before it jumped up to $2.10.20, which was only about a week ago, it was sitting at about $1.80. And I know that I've got the Fuel Check app on my phone. I live in an area where there's lots of independent servos, and I'm always comparing the 7-Elevens where I can get my velocity points to the cheaper ones. 7-Elevens are actually pretty good, by the way. BP, they will screw. Shell, forget about it.
The problem is I always leave it to the last minute when the red light's seriously flashing, so I can't really pick my servos. I've got to go to the closest one.
Trip. I had to go to the northern beaches of Sydney yesterday for a friend's kid's second birthday, and I actually planned to go via 7-Eleven North Narrabeen just so I could get LPG for 99.9 cents a litre and pick out the velocity points as well. So that's how serious a consumer I am, and I reckon the PM's answer would have been bang on if he had been asked to cut. Well, if he had seen the price of petrol a couple of days earlier, he would have been absolutely correct. But either way,
it's mostly been above $2 for a long time now. Mostly.
No. Oh no. I watch it like a hawk, and certainly around a week and a bit ago, it was still sitting at about $1.80 for E10 or 91, and it was only over the last week and a bit that suddenly it shot up to above 2, because these are the sort of things that I notice, because my family motto is never pay full retail.